Hi, this is Sharina with Sharina Shack Scraps. Thank you for joining me today. I am here with the May album for the Noteworthy series, and this album is called the Twin Fold Album, and it's made out of file folders. So, without further ado, let's get started. Let me just show you this project. I'm going to have to zoom out in a second. So, this project is held on by a belly band. Okay, and then it's called the Twin Fold because when you open it, it folds out exactly the same on both sides. So here we have a pocket. This is a taller pocket on both sides, and then it flips open again. Will all that fit? Okay, gotta zoom out a second. There we go. Okay, and then here on these two sides is a short pocket, which I've just loaded with, random pieces. This is another Storytellers Club stuff. I like to experiment and play with this paper. And then here I've added just like frames. This is a frame. This is kind of a photo mat, but it is a flip up. Oh, I hope this fits in the view. Oh, it kind of does. So it flips up, and then here I've added some belly bands down here to hold some pictures. But as you can see, it folds together the exact same on both sides, so I call it the Twin Fold Album. Alright, now I have a feeling I'm going to have to zoom out a little bit more to get this tutorial in here, so let's see if that will work. First you're going to need a one file folder, and then you're also going to need one strip of paper that's 3/4 to 1 inch long, or wide, excuse me, and between 11 and 12 inches long. That's going to make your belly band part, okay? You can set that aside. Okay, first of all, we're going to square off. These are standard size file folders, okay? And we're going to square everything off so it looks nice and neat, but we're going to kind of do that with some dimension here. I like to open mine up with the tab on the right side. Now, it does not matter. It can be the tab can be on the left, the middle, or the right. It doesn't matter. We're just going to cut these folders down. Okay, so with the tab on the right side, we are going to cut the left side. Now let's see if I can get these right. To 8.5 inches. Okay, wait a minute. I have to flip this around. Just kidding. So the tab's on the left side, not the right side. Put your score mark or your folded line here at the 8 1/4 line. So you can see right here, I've got that at my 8 1/4 cutting line. Okay, and on this side, it's just going to cut off this tab. Okay, to trim that off with our scissors just a little bit, maybe. All right, so all we've cut off is just that edge there. Flip it around and then put this side, the side with the tab on the right side, at the 8 3/4. So the first one was 8 1/4. The second side, the side with the tab, is 8 3/4. And it's going to cut off just a little bit more than, you see that there? It's going to cut off just a little bit more than the tab, okay? Now, so our sides here are square. Now we're going to cut off the one side on this side. We're going to cut 1/4 inch off each side. Okay, so fold it in half and cut off just 1/4 inch off of each side to square off our file folder and give us something more square to work with. Now I'm sure you could make this work with the tabs if you rearrange the measurements. But, okay, I have to get my pattern out here. Now we need to cut, let's see, which side am I on here? Alright, we're going to cut one side to 5 3/4. Both pieces should be really close to 5 3/4 long. Let's see how close we are. Yeah, see, we're pretty close. 5 3/4, alright. And then now we're going to, this piece here is going to be the main part of our album, and then this piece we're going to use to make the pockets and the flip pages. Okay, so put the pockets and flip pages to the side and slide your file folder into your scoring board. Now let's see. what I have here are, can you see the extra score marks on the file folder? I don't know if you guys can see that. I have them on the left side here, and I'm going to score this at 4 inches and 4 1/4 inches, and then at, let's see, and then this mark should be at the 8 1/4 inch. That's right. Okay, so score this at 4 and 4 1/4, and this mark, this fold that's already here, should be at the 8 1/4 mark. Flip it around, and then score this at 4 inches and 4 1/4 inches, and then here you're going to score this at 8 1/4, because that mark is not scored on the other side. So we've done the same score marks, just one of them is already there. And you can go ahead and fold this together, line everything up, and everything folds towards the center because it's all going to flip in. That one's already there. Alright. And I like to fold them all individually like this, because then I can line up the sides to make sure that they are lined up properly. Because sometimes it just doesn't score as straight as I'd like it to. And you can make this with, I know they have decorative folders. It would be really cute to do with decorative folders, and you wouldn't have to add pattern paper to it later. So as you can see, now our main part of our album is put together. See how that folds up? Bring the two sides in together, and then you'll slip your belly band over top. Okay, now let's work on the extra pieces. So set that aside. Get your cutting board out again. Alright, now, it doesn't matter which side you do which to. What you need is to cut 4 inches, 2 pieces that are 4 inches off of both sides. So there's one cut of 4 inches and another cut of 4 inches. Okay, and then I don't like this little piece, so I flip it around, cut it at 4 inches, and one more time at 4 inches. And then this piece that you're left with, you can just throw it away, unless you have some fun use for it, okay? So you have two stacks here of 4 inches. Let's get our scoring board back out again. Now 2 of these are going to be the flip parts, okay, that go to the album. I'm trying to think which way I want this wording. I want it, okay. On 2 of them, you're just going to score at 1/2 of an inch. And these are making the flip up pages. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. So score them at 1/2 inch. And just fold them over. Okay, and they're going to be the pages that flip up. Set those ones aside. Now these ones, you score them at 2 inches. And like I said, it doesn't really matter how tall this one is. It might be 5 1/4, 5 1/2, somewhere in there. Because the 2 inch one, score these at 2 inches. Okay. One side is going to make the tall pocket, and the other side is going to make the short pocket. So it really kind of doesn't matter. Alright. Now, let's assemble this. Isn't this quick and easy? One thing you might want to think about before you add, well, let's add the middle pages first. Alright, so open this out so it's all the way open, and I'm going to take my flip pages, and they go right in here, and if they're a little wide, you can just trim them down. If your score marks are a little wide, okay, they're going to go right in like that. So I'm going to add some score tape. Where's the end? There it is. And these, I would assemble these flip pages and put them down before you add your pattern paper and mat your album so you can cover up this hinged edge here. Another thing that I like to do is cut these on a slight angle. It doesn't really matter, 45 degrees, somewhere in there. It'll fit into your album just a little bit easier. You see what I'm doing here? It's called a miter cut. If you ever pick up any of my patterns, I call it the miter cut. Alright, so these go at the top. of the album. Like that. Some other things to think about as you do this, you may want to round the corners of these edges or do decorative punches, or on these corners here you can also do that. You can do it before or after, it doesn't matter. Also, if you want to ink it at all, you can ink the edges before you put it together or after. Just some extra things to think about there. Alright, now with these pockets, I don't know, can I get them both into view here? Let's see. Do I have it wide enough? I do. Cool. Okay, so here's your flip ups. Okay, and you can add belly bands or whatever you want to that. And then this part is the short pocket. So when you assemble these, you slide them right here, and then you glue them on both sides. That's my end view. Can you see that? So when you fold this over, your long pocket is on this side. See that? Alright, that back out of the way again. Now, a thing to think about, you may want to mat your paper right here before you add this pocket, because they don't have hinges on them, so the pocket's not very big. And then I add, and I use a wet glue for this because then sometimes the other kind of glue sticks, my tags will stick inside the pocket, and I don't want that. And a wet glue dries completely. And as you can see, you don't have to do the bottom because the bottom is sealed. Now, the trick is getting it on here without getting everything gluey, right? Alright. There we go. And like I said, you might want to measure and mat. I hate it when I get glue on my thing. Measure and mat your paper before you add your pockets in there so that the tags will slide in and out better. That's what I did on mine, but you kind of get the idea. Alright, let's add this other pocket here, and this has the score marks on it. That doesn't bother me because I know I'm just going to cover it up with paper and you're never going to see them. Alright, let's see if I can do it this way. Whoa, works pretty good. As you can see, this is poking out just a little bit more than I want it to, so I'll just take a pair of scissors and trim it off so it fits more accurately. We definitely don't want anything to overlap any of these hinge marks or your album won't fold up. Alright, so there is the album. Quick and easy. How simple was that? Quick, easy album. Okay, now the belly band. You can make the belly band to be between 1 and 3/4 inches. You could probably even make it wider if you want. And it needs to be between, somewhere between 11 and 12 inches. Just use a scrap piece of paper. Alright. And then we're going to score these at 3 1/4 and 3 3/4. And then come over and score it at 7 3/4 and 8 1/4. Okay. And then fold all those score marks up so that it forms a belly band. And as you can see, one side is shorter than the other, and that's just perfectly fine. You see, and I've already added adhesive to the one side. So I'm going to peel that adhesive off. Holding it, you can wrap this around your album as well so that you know it's going to fit about right. Okay. And glue it down. Okay, so you've got a belly band for your album. Okay, alright, thanks for joining me today, and I hope you enjoyed this album, and we'll talk to you next month. Bye!